with is supposed to be there to support you and the child. I found that this has not been the case in foster parenting. Foster parents that have a strong voice are labeled in the agencies as troublemakers because we are advocating and holding the agency staff workers accountable for doing their job at the end of the day. The children that have been in my home was also below grade level, and I work with them diligently to bring their level up so that they can achieve. Teaching our children to do better in a bad situation. These children need a sense of hope and someone to be by their side during their crisis. I believe as a foster parent, you have to speak up and you have to ask for help when you need it. And the agency is supposed to be there to support you and the child in need. I have found that this has not been the case. Lack of support services is one of the biggest issues that foster parents face. I found that foster parents that have a strong voice are labeled in the agencies as troublemakers because we are advocating for the child that needs help. We are for recruitment because it is very much needed, and the black and brown children need help. When we're recruiting the community to become foster parents, and truth needs to be told about what's happening inside these foster care agencies. It is deceitful, it is dishonest to not inform the community about serious issues that the foster parents need to know. The community needs to know what they are up against. They need to be given the tools to prepare and not throw in situations that can lead to a child abuse case against them. They need to know about indicating cases that can affect a person's life and put a person on the state central registry for 28 years that can never work with children. The foster parents that are already fostering are not getting the support that they need. They have no voice and nowhere to turn for help. They also fear retaliation from agencies when they speak out. They love the children so that they stay and deal with whatever is dealt to them. ACS and the contracted agencies need foster parents' homes at the end of the day. But they also need to respect community people who are volunteering to try to help these foster children. People need to reach out to families in your community that are struggling. Maybe you can help us, that the children don't ever have to come into foster care, or to make it easier if they do. Some families really need a ride, a sitter, some emotional support, some connection to local resources. Lack of community ties is a huge risk factor for children coming into care. So make the attempt. I am doing this because it needs doing. I love kids. This is my thing. Some of us hope to expand our families this way. Some of us do it for the pleasure of having laughter, young voices around. Some of us are pushed into it because children and families or friends needed care. Some of us grew up and around formal or informal foster care. But all of us are doing it for our own reasons because we love it or love the kids, and we are the lucky ones. We get to have these great kids in our lives. As a foster parent, you give hope to a child and youth in need of a safe home. I have seen and witnessed this system in a negative and in a positive way. I truly believe at the end of the day, it takes a village to raise a child, and we need community support in order to work on foster care reform to help these foster children. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Regina Jenkins. As stated before, I was a foster child, and I was a foster parent from 2005 to December of last year. Also, I am an educator for 22 years, so I'm around children a whole lot. I have 3 of my own biological children, 3 boys, though I was married, my husband was in the military, so most of the time it was just me and my boys. So my experience with children has been for many, many years. I am a FPA member because from from 2005 to last year, 2012, I've had approximately 11 children in my home. And every time my children left, it literally broke my heart. Because you don't, no, let me not say you don't. I don't, or I didn't do this just for the money or just to have someone in my home. I did it because this was my way of giving back. I was blessed. And the way I was brought up is when you're blessed, you give blessings back. So I was giving this back. This was my way of giving back to the community, where someone took me in at 4 years old. My mom passed away in 2008, and I'm pretty old. I'm much older than I look. But my point is, my mother was my mother for over 40 years. That was my mother. So like I said, this is my way of giving back. I didn't plan on doing it as early as I did, but God has a way, He has a plan, and it's not always our plan. And the first child that I took in my home in 2005 was a child that I was actually mentoring in my school. And he was also my reading group. And he looked like one of my kids. And a friend of mine had said, "You're going to take this child in your home," because we knew the child had a lot of issues at home. And I told her, "Don't be prophet lying on me. I have 3 boys at home. I don't need another one." But like I said, God's plan is not our plan. Right. Literally, I'm going to say maybe 3 months after that, the state took him. And I felt offended because I felt like, as an educator, as a mentor, there was something else I could have been doing. So I fought to get him. And I went for training and did everything I was supposed to do, and I got this child. And he stayed in my house for 18 months. And his mom was like, "You've been there with him. You can take him until he's 18. Like, I'm good." State? "Oh, you're not blood." So they took my child. After he left, I was ready to close my house. My agency was not having it. They gave me children after children after children. Like I said, I had about approximately 11 children in my home. Unfortunately, last year, December, one of my children got hurt at school. School didn't send home any paperwork as to what happened. So by the time I was able to talk to someone to get some idea what was going on, it became an ACS case and then an OSI case. Now, as an educator, as Ms. Willis was stating, if you get on the registry, you can't work with children anymore. So here, my life, what makes me do what I do, is in jeopardy. They took my children. They didn't ask questions. They just did their thing. And my problem was, there were rights that I had that coming to FBA, I found out after the fact. Now, to be in an agency that long, and when I would call and ask, "What do I do? What happens? What do we do?" They had nothing to say. They literally turned their backs on us. And my issue with that is, you're the ones that are hiring us. You're putting us through all of this riggery. You're putting us with the state. You're fingerprinting us. You're doing all this stuff with us. But then when we have a situation, you don't know who we are. And that's really disheartening. That makes you want to not do what you do. And when you do it from the heart, it really vexes your spirit. But, as I stated earlier, God has a plan. And I believe that for whatever reason, I had to go through that. I didn't like going through it, but I had to go through it because it made me stronger. And thinking in my Christian way of my Christian upbringing, I felt like David when this situation came upon me. And the OSI was this Goliath that was they're just too, like, you can't fight them. Everybody makes you think you couldn't fight them. But I was sent a slingshot with my rock, which was FPA, Miss Matthews, and Miss Hooper. And we were able to slay them. And I ended up getting it turned around, where it was indicated, and we sent our letters and information up to Albany, and within a couple of weeks, they sent back, "We've sealed it. We've reversed the decision, and we sealed it." And I thank God for that. But the bottom line is, when I went through my situation, there were 5 other foster parents in my agency that was going through the same thing. That is too many people to have an OSI case in any agency at any time. As the young ladies were saying earlier, when you need something and you ask, now I have to say, when I first got into this agency, the people that I work with were very helpful. Whatever I needed, they got there. They got you. As time has gone on, people have moved on, whatever the case may be. You got newer people, don't know what's going on, have no idea. I even went to the director and I said, listen, your supervisor told me this, told me that. She goes, oh, you have to understand, she's new, give her a chance. But I have an OSI case. Because of her, I have an OSI case. I can lose my job, my home, and you're telling me give her a chance? Okay, so what do I do now? Where do I stand? Oh, we can't talk to you until the case is over. Really? Really? You know, like that pisses you off. I'm gonna be honest. That pisses you off to the point where I was saying, when this is over, I don't even want to be a foster parent anymore. But it bothers me because this is something I want to do. And I'm not going to give them, OSI, ACS, or whoever, the opportunity to take away from me something I enjoy doing. Right now, I've taken a break, stepping back, you know, putting some things in perspective. But I will be a foster parent again. And when I become a foster parent again, I will be more informed. Because like I said, I found out after the fact that there was supposed to be a 10-day meeting to fight them taking my children. I didn't know that, so I couldn't fight for my children. And the irony of it is, after my children left me, which was the bad home, they were in 5 other homes. One of them was beat so bad that the foster parent was arrested. When they went to court the last time, the mother stated they should have never left my home. But at the meantime, when the case was going on, I was the bad person. And I had 2 kids for 1 year. Mom had another child. That child went into care. I really didn't want another baby because I was going to school. I had enough on my plate. They insisted that I take this baby. I finally got this baby. And then maybe 4 months later, I'm a bad parent. So my point is, legislation has to be changed. The only way it's to be changed is not just us. We need the community. Yes. We need the community to help us speak out. During the summer we did rallies. We went to every borough. Every single borough in front of every ACS building, and we rallied. And a lot of them even came and said, you're doing a good job. You know, of course they had to do it, you know, on the down low. But, you know, even they were saying, you guys are doing a good job. Because they know they're not being held accountable. Right. These agencies, forget about it. People from the agency I was at, I've spoken to at least 2 people who have left. Because they don't like the way that they're doing stuff. They're not treating the foster parents right. And like I said, if I'm going to open up my home to children I don't know, the least you can do is assist me in whatever I need. One of my children, she was 3 years old, didn't speak. For a whole year, I fought to get her early intervention services. By the time she turns 3, she done aged out. She can't get early intervention anymore. So, you know, their agencies, as I said, as the time has gone on, the children, the services, the help, the support is none. It's none. So once again, we need to fight. Everybody, whether you're a foster parent, foster child, someone in the community, we all have to come together and fight. Because if we don't, this is going to continue happening. Yes. Children are going to be hurt. They're going to lose out. Funding is eventually going to go. And then where are our children going to be? Who's going to be there to take care of them? Won't be any really good foster parents. It'll be people who are in it for the money.